The film begins in 1968, inside the dazzling new Skyview restaurant, a futuristic tower rising above the clouds. Guests dance beneath shimmering glass floors, unaware that beneath their feet, death is waiting. At a corner table, Iris, a young woman, beams with joy as her fiancé Paul kneels to propose. But as he slides the ring onto her finger, Iris's eyes catch something strange. A little boy above them tosses a shiny coin into the air. The coin spins, glinting in the light, then slips through the grates of an overhead vent. As if guided by fate itself, the coin jams a fan blade. A spark flies. The blade snaps, rupturing a gas pipe. High above, tiny fractures begin to lace across the glass dance floor. The crowd continues to sway, laughing and clinking champagne glasses. But death has already set the stage. A dull creak echoes. Bolts pop loose one by one. The floor drops, and screams pierce the air. Paul grabs onto the railing, holding on for dear life as bodies tumble through the cracking glass. Iris tries to pull him up, but the metal gives way. Paul slips, falling into the burning wreck below. The restaurant ignites in a massive explosion. Fire engulfs everything. Iris flees in terror, dodging falling debris, gas fires, and collapsing beams. The boy who threw the coin runs ahead, but fate has planned one last move. The walkway collapses, crushing everyone who enters. Only the boy survives. In the chaos, Iris nearly reaches safety, when her hand gets caught on a shard of metal, and she realizes what's holding her up. Paul's engagement ring. Her lifeline, her love, her curse. Seconds later, the ring snaps. Iris plunges into the inferno. Then everything fades to black. 50 years later, a college student named Stefani jerks awake in class. Heart pounding, terror in her eyes. For 2 months straight, she's been seeing the same nightmare. A collapsing tower, a falling ring, a woman named Iris. Strangely, Iris is the name of her grandmother, one she's never met. Back home, Stefani questions her father, Marty, about Iris. He hesitates, then deflects the topic. That night, curiosity outweighs caution. Stefani convinces her brother Charlie to visit their cousins with her. Maybe someone knows the truth. At her Uncle Howard's house, Stefani brings up the nightmare. The moment she mentions the Skyview restaurant, the entire family freezes. Howard and his wife Brenda warn her never to speak of it. But when Stefani insists, they crack, revealing that Iris didn't die. She went insane. After Paul's death, they say, Iris became obsessed with stopping death itself. She believed disaster followed her family, locking her children indoors and sending letters filled with disturbing photos and warnings. Eventually, she was institutionalized. Howard and Brenda cut all ties. Determined to find answers, Stefani secretly finds the letters, each one stranger than the last. Pictures of mutilated faces, burnt buildings, and mysterious predictions. The woman in those photos looks exactly like the Iris from her dreams. Stefani tracks her grandmother's last known address, a fortress-like cabin deep in the mountains. When she arrives, an old intercom crackles. Iris's trembling voice demands that Stefani empty her pockets before entering. The heavy iron door creaks open, revealing booby traps everywhere. Tripwires, spikes, even swinging blades. This isn't a home. It's a bunker against death. For the first time in decades, Iris sees her granddaughter. Her eyes soften. She explains that her dreams are not imagination. They're warnings. Years ago, she foresaw the Skyview disaster. She saved dozens of lives by pulling the fire alarms early. But by cheating death that day, she set off a chain reaction. Everyone she saved died years later, one by one, in freak accidents. Death doesn't like to be denied. Iris confides that she's now dying of cancer. But the dreams returning through Stefani can only mean one thing. Death is circling the family again. Iris senses something as they speak. Sunlight catches a magnifying glass, focusing a beam onto a hanging rope. The fiber smokes, about to ignite. Iris slams it aside just in time. She warns Stefani never to ignore the signs. The reflections, the burning smells, the cold drafts, because those are death's fingerprints. But Stefani doesn't believe her. She prepares to leave. Iris begs her to take a strange leather-bound book, her journal of death patterns. Before Stefani can refuse, Iris shoves it into her hands and steps outside to prove her point. A gust of wind knocks over the same magnifying glass, sending a metal rod flying straight into Iris's mouth. She dies instantly. At her funeral, Stefani pleads with her family to listen. Death is coming. But no one believes her, not even her skeptical mother Darlene. That night, death begins its game once more. At Howard's family barbecue, everything feels painfully normal. The kids play, adults toast, and laughter fills the backyard. A single shard of glass drops into the ice bucket, mixing invisibly among the cubes. Drinks are poured. Cameras tighten in, one cut after another. Someone lifts a glass. Julia coughs. Everyone panics, but she's fine. The danger passes, or so they think. Outside, gas seeps from the barbecue tank. A photograph slips off the wall inside the house, scattering shards across the floor. Howard's drink tips slightly. The camera pans to the hidden rake under the trampoline. Everything connects. Every detail matters. Stefani screams through the phone, warning them what's about to happen. But it's too late. The rake slides down the hill, colliding with a mower. The blades fire up just as Howard steps forward. 1 second later, silence. Another life claimed. At his funeral, Stefani studies Iris's book again. A note reads, "Death follows bloodlines. Howard's kids, Eric, Julia, and Bobby, are next." Nobody believes it until Eric narrowly escapes a horrific freak accident at work. But soon, Julia isn't so lucky. While jogging, her headphone wire gets caught on a garbage truck. It drags her straight into the compactor. Her screams are drowned by the machine's roar. Death's list is real. Panicked, Eric reveals a shocking truth. He's not Howard's biological child. He might have escaped fate. That means Bobby is next. Desperate, Stefani looks for help in Iris's notes and discovers the name William, a mysterious survivor from years ago. They find him in a hospital. He's the same boy who threw the coin in 1968. A lifetime of guilt shows on his face. William explains everything. There are only 2 ways to cheat death: kill someone else to take your place or die and come back. But both paths are cursed. He warns them to stop meddling and cherish their time instead. Death always balances the scales. Back home, Eric refuses to accept that fate is written. He and Bobby concoct a dangerous plan. Stage a temporary death using Bobby's peanut allergy so doctors can revive him. As they shake the vending machine for peanuts, one loose spring snaps free. The camera lingers on it, unnoticed. Moments later, chaos erupts. The peanut experiment fails as an MRI machine next door powers up. Everything metal rips across the room. Eric's piercings are torn toward the magnet. He's crushed into the machine. The spring from the vending machine rockets across the lab, impaling Bobby through the head. 2 deaths, 1 breath apart. Stefani and Darlene, horrified, decide to finish what Iris started. They return to Iris's mountain cabin, bringing Charlie along. It's raining heavily. Thunder cracks overhead. The camera pans to a single coin rolling off Iris's book, falling between the car seats. A bad omen. They race down the mountain road, headlights flickering. Power line snaps, sparking above. Flames erupt. The car crashes into the cabin wall. Stefani is trapped, belt jammed. Darlene pulls Charlie free, insisting he save her daughter. Right then, a light pole crashes down, killing Darlene instantly. Charlie drags Stefani out of the wreck. She stops breathing, but he revives her after several desperate moments. To them, this must be what William meant by die and return. They laugh in relief through tears, believing the cycle is broken. But fate has one last twist. Days later, they visit Charlie's girlfriend's home. As Stefani pricks her finger on a rose thorn, memories flood in: the dream, the coin, the train. A distant rumble grows louder outside. Down the street, an old woman drops a coin, watching it roll across the steps. The camera closes in. The train derails. The explosion rips through the city. Charlie grabs Stefani, pulling her to safety just in time. The screen cuts to black. For a heartbeat, everything is silent. Then the sound